So, all of this mess is for Saturday. I'll be taking my message to the streets of St. Louis, so that'll be super cool. Hopefully, I can do Black women justice with my poster board, my free snacks, my free food, and hopefully, we can start a conversation and engage the community on how they feel about the situation. So I will start off by saying that, first of all, I know that this is not a popular topic. I wish it was something surrounding Black Lives Matter. That's something we can all get behind on, or like getting rid of student loans, or like discrimination, discrimination in the housing industries and everything like that. But unfortunately, while do spend a lot of time dealing with those topics and speaking out on those things, I felt like it was time for me to shed some light on a problem that we all really know about. Like, this is not a secret. This is not like something that we don't know. This is something that occasionally you'll see on TV for like 5 minutes. Some Black women will get on TV and they'll start talking about how they don't like it when rappers call them the H word or call them the B word, and then it just disappears, because that's what happens when Black people that's what happens when issues surrounding Black women get brought up. People are like, oh yeah, that's true, and then they head for the door and for the exit, and you never hear about it again. So I feel like it was time to really just say something, do something, and just bring it back up until it stays up. And we can't afford to have this back down. It has to stay up. So let me start off by saying I love hip hop. I love rap. I feel like it influenced and shaped a significant part of my life. I love hip hop. I love Kendrick. I love J. Cole. I love Migos. I love Nicki Minaj. I love Cardi B. I love Lil Kim. I love all the rappers. I really do. I love all the hip hop artists, except for some. I do not like some, but in general, I'm a huge hip hop fan. I'm never against. I don't really consider this to be bashing hip hop. I feel like in order to be the best that you can be, it calls for growth, and hip hop needs to grow, because unfortunately Black women are dying at a very high and extreme rate. Black women make up 13% of the population in America, but we make up over half of the homicides for women. So that's 13%, but we make up over half of the homicides for all of women in America. And so I'm not really blaming hip hop solely. I don't want anybody to get that idea. I understand that there are a ton of issues that goes into play on why we're dying at such an alarming and extreme rate. But it would be foolish for me, and it would be not holistically thinking about the situation, for me to sit here and say that the majority of Black women, half of Black women are making up 13% of Black women are making up half of the rates of homicide in America, and the majority of it is within our own communities, and not say anything about the constant degradation, the stripping of humanity within our music that is constantly being pumped into us day in and day out. So why is music, and why are the words that artists use, why do the words that artists use contribute to what's going on in society? First of all, music is very influential. Many artists have used it to influence even politics. And we all know that words are very important. It's why you see people protesting certain people whenever they say something that is considered wrong against different races, sexes, and things like that. So we all know that words can be damaging. Many psychiatrists will tell you, especially when raising children, to make sure you give them positive affirmations and that you don't constantly put them down because it affects their self-esteem. Even in religion, and you have things like you have what you say, or life and death is in the power of the tongue, and everything like that. Almost every part of society will tell you that words are very important and that they impact you in ways that we don't even really know yet, and that they shape things. And yet for some reason we feel like that rappers constantly calling majority Black women the B word, the H word, saying, contributing and promoting sexual assault against us and treating us like objects, is not doing anything to our communities. Now, everybody else in the world it's pretty much agreed upon that words impact people, but for some reason we don't think that the words that are being constantly pumped into us through our music is impacting or shaping our communities in any way. And we don't think that those words are playing any role as to why we are making up half of all of the homicides for women in America, and especially domestic violence. Black women have the highest rates of domestic violence. We experience it more, 30 to 50% more than white people, and over 2 times more than other minority women races. And so not only do we experience it, but we're one of the least likely to actually get help due to stigmatisms and fear of the police and distrust and things like that. So we are getting the least amount of help, but we have extremely high assault rates against us. We're making up half of the population for women of murders, and we're getting basically zero to maybe 5% of coverage on the national media news outlets. Nobody cares about Black women dying. Nobody cares about the fact that we're alarmingly being assaulted and that we're alarmingly being murdered. Nobody even cares about that. And the worst part is that through our music, our own communities, the people that we look up to and that we tune into when we want to drown out all of the days long hardships, those are the people that we're going to. They're feeding us trash, and they're putting us down, and they're degrading us, and they're stripping us of our humanity, which is what they have been doing, which is what the media has been doing since forever. So let's talk about words and how they can take away your humanity. They can strip you down and have people to not even view you as a human being that has feelings and that is important to care about. So think about slavery. Back then in slavery, we all know that in America, slavery was heavily used, and that slaves basically built America. And think about it, they didn't view us as humans. They viewed us as 3/4 of a human. And it's like they used that for political reasons. I'm pretty sure that if it wasn't for the need to count the slaves so that the southern states could have more power in Congress and in the House of Representatives, that they would not view us as 0% human, but they reduced us to 3/4 human. And so what happens when you don't even view a human being as a human being? Then it's okay to rape them. It's okay to beat them. It's okay to starve them to death. It's okay to torture them. It's okay to overwork them to death. It's okay to put laws against them so that they can't do well in life. It's okay to constantly step over them to move up in life, and that they're just basically a doormat or less than a doormat, that you feel like you can do whatever with, no matter, whenever you want to, however you want to. And so even after slavery, people were unhappy that, they no longer have slaves, and so they went into all of these campaigns portraying black people as certain ways so that people can dislike them and mistrust them, and that could justify the mistreatment of black people. And especially for women, we got stereotyped as the mammy, the faithful maid, the faithful, helpful woman whose whole purpose in life is to help white people. And then we got stereotyped as the Jezebel, the lustful woman who really wants all the, it's not really rape, the constant rapes that was going on. She wants it, she's inviting it, she's worldly, she's lustful, she's the H word in modern times, and they use that to strip down the black woman and try to destroy her image, so that nobody cares about all of the suffering that she is going through. Nobody cares about the race that she's being assaulted. Nobody cares about the race in which she is dying. And then the sad part, unfortunately, now we come to today, where it used to be the external forces being against us, but now it's our own people, it's our own music, it's our own artists that are pumping that filth, honestly, what it is. As much as I love hip hop, and I've been guilty of listening to some songs that did degrade women, black, outside of the music, in their general lives. We have so many artists who have been accused and did prison time for sexual assault. We have a lot of artists who have physically assaulted women, and there's not much backlash, there's not much consequences that they face. They still get to be rich and widely popular and widely beloved by the community. Some of those people, like Kodak Black, he's been accused of sexual assault. He's even spoke out against dark-skinned women, and his music is still in the Billboard top 20 hip-hop and rap songs. He's still widely successful, widely popular. People still give him a platform, even from prison. We know Dr. Dre, he never really faced any consequences for assaulting a woman. We know that even icons like Tupac was accused of sexual assault, and whether you believe it or not, he was accused, and he did serve prison time for it. And he's still very much beloved. And that's kind of what I'm getting at. Not only in our music, in the lyrics directly, are we degrading women, but we are also justifying the mistreatment of black women when we constantly support artists who have harmed women. So why does this matter? Like, why am I going so hard at hip hop? Because it's primarily aimed towards, it's our culture, it's part of black culture. Hip hop started with us and is still heavily influenced by us. Now we have internal forces. We have people who look like us, people whose culture, who we share a same culture with, the same common belief systems with. Now they are in turn, through the media, again, putting poison into us, letting us know that we're nothing and that we're just property, that you just treat women like property because that's what they are. And so now you've dehumanized us in your music, And people think that that has no correlation as to why 1 in 5 black women will be raped in their lifetimes. Or people think that treating people as property in plenty of songs, that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that black women experience domestic violence in relationships 30% higher than white women, and higher, and like almost 2.5 times higher than women of any other race. And we feel like that has nothing to do with some of the issues that black women are facing. We're being killed off at very dramatic rates. We are being abused at very dramatic rates. And no one is talking about it. Nobody seems to really care. And then we have people from the inside poisoning us as well. And we don't think there's no correlation between the two. And I'm here to tell you that there is a correlation. There is a correlation. Black women, 30 to 50%. Black women are 30 to 50% times more likely to experience some type of sexual assault than white women, non-white Hispanics, and Asian women. Like those are our numbers. We make up 13% of the population of women, and we are being murdered at 50% of all women who get murdered. And like, look at our artists. Really take time and don't just hop on the beat. Really take time and analyze what exactly are they saying to us. What are they saying? Drop the music, let go of the beat, and just read through the lyrics. What are you saying? We all know about, well, some of us at least know about Rick Ross. He had that line in his song, "Put a Molly in her drink, she didn't even know it." And it caused a little bit of backlash, not much. He's still very popular, but people think that that's just a rare case, that's a rare incident, and some people clap back at him, so it was okay. But then we have very, very popular songs. Rich Homie Quan, Flex. What is he saying? He gave that H word some X, you know what that is, and now she's gonna want to sex every nigga in the set. Look at those lyrics. So he gave a woman, let's break it down. He gave a woman some X, some drugs, and now she's gonna hopefully get a train ran on her. That's what those lyrics are saying. And I used to love that song, but then I took the time to really think about, like, what are you saying? What do you mean? What do you mean? And even on the top 20 hip hop Billboard Music Awards right now, even Plain Jane. Let's look at some of the lyrics. She was popping pills like rappers in society. I F your B word for the irony. I'll send Michi at your H word if your B word keep eyeing me. So once again, we have this connection between popping pills, doing drugs, and sex, and calling women out of their names. And it's all very much connected. When you see women as property and not human beings, then you feel like it's okay to do whatever you want to do with them. But we are not property. We are not dogs. I wouldn't even treat a dog like that. We are not doormats. We are not things that you can just abuse for your fun. We are not things that you can pass around to your group of friends and give drugs to. And rape, essentially, is sexual assault. Let's just be honest with it. It's rape. With the words that they speak on, it's rape. And for some reason, we condone it. We do condone it. They're popular. They're popular songs. They're popular artists. We support them. If they come on right now, most of us would dance to it. We support the degradation and dehumanization of Black women every time we support degrading songs aimed towards us in our music. It's really that simple. So I'm not asking that you hate hip hop. I don't hate hip hop. I still listen to hip hop. I love rap music, and I will always fight for the culture of hip hop to advance, to do better. When you know better, you do better, and we need to do better, and we need to hold the artists accountable. We need to hold them accountable because we really can't afford not to. We're dying at higher rates than any other women. Black women are dying at higher rates than any other group of women. Black women are highly being assaulted. Black women are experiencing very high rates of domestic violence, and we are least likely to get help for domestic violence. We're least likely to engage in the programs that are set up for women who are in abusive relationships. And nobody even talks about the issues. We're just silently dying. We're silently being ignored. We're silently being extremely marginalized. And our music is supporting that, just like the media has supported the dehumanization of Black women throughout the centuries. So what can you do? What can you do? You can hold your artists accountable. You can stop supporting things. And even if you feel that you are not ready to stop supporting songs that are degrading and that promote sexual violence against women, you can at the very least reach out to your artists through social media. We're so connected. We're the most connected we've ever been to public figures. What's stopping you from sending a tweet to your favorite artist and say, "Hi, hey, why did you say this and this about women? Hey, why did you promote sexual assault in this song? Hey, why did you use the B word against women this many times in this song?" What if we all started questioning the artists that we look up to and that we love and that we adore and we support? What if we started holding them accountable? What if we started asking them questions? I mean, how can they can't get famous without us. Like, it's a supply and a demand type of thing, and we're demanding that. We want more violence against women in our songs every time we go crazy for the next degrading songs and boost it up to number 1 on the charts. You can also support more female artists, and not just supporting women just because they're women, but also hold them accountable. What are you doing? What's in your music? Are you contributing to the further dehumanization against women, or are you building women up in your songs? So those are just some things to think about. There are so many artists that I can honestly think and mention who have histories of sexual assault or battery, or who heavily mentions it in their music, and they'll be up on my board. Everyone will get to see it Saturday. They'll be up on my board, but there are just so many to count, and that's just so sad